Hello everyone and welcome to another random game of the day. I'm Andrew and today we're playing Castlevania for the NES. And we are pushing the start key because it's not a button, it's apparently a key to Konami. But I believe this was also for the MSX, although which was a computer released in Japan, although don't know if that's why it says key instead of button, or if they just decided to call it the key. But anyway, let's talk about the actual game here. So we've already picked up a whole bunch of stuff. Two of the things were whip upgrades, which make the whip stronger and longer, as you can see there. And when we die, the whip will go back to its normal strength. So we'll have to pick those back up again. We picked up hearts. The first thing we picked up was actually a big heart. And what that does is hearts in this game, you might think that they're health, but they're not. They act as ammo. So as you see, we have the heart counter up there. And we also have an item up there in that box, so that's the clock, and you can activate your item by pressing up and B at the same time. And what the clock does is it stops time, so like enemies will stop. I believe moving platforms and things like that will also stop. Like that dog that always gets everyone. But yeah, so basically you find items in a whole bunch of weird places in this game, like you destroy candlesticks, torches, blocks in the wall. It's a whole bunch of crazy things that you have to do. It starts out pretty easy, although as the game goes on, the platforming gets a bit more difficult. Enemies start to get more frequent and like fill the screen and just like attack you from all directions. And overall, things just get a lot more difficult. Bosses, Medusa heads, the fact that when you get hit, you fly back like 40 feet. So if you're anywhere near a hole and you take damage, you're pretty much guaranteed to fall down it. Here we have the cross, which instantly destroys all enemies on the screen. There's not really much point to it, putting it right at the end of that room. But yeah, there's pretty much, the game is made up of a whole bunch of different worlds. Well, I call them worlds, or like areas. And each area is made up of 3 rooms or stages. And as you saw, I just kind of destroyed the wall there. So find some food, and food acts as your health. Not hearts like you would think, it's food. But yeah, so there's 3 rooms per stage, or per like world or level or whatever you want to call it, area. And you pretty much just want to do whatever you can to get through them without getting a game over. Getting game over, you can just go back to the last like whole area, or like a multiple of 3 of a stage that you were at. And then you'll start there to get a game over. There's a whole bunch of interesting secrets, like how you saw I just went down there, and that caused that 1,000 point money bag to come up out of the floor there. There's a few weird secrets like that where you have to like duck in certain areas and things like that, and it will cause items to appear. This game is just full of secrets, which is pretty neat. What's it called? Castlevania 2 is quite a bit different than this. Anyone who knows anything about the angry video game nerd and watches his videos will know that he definitely went on about how Castlevania 2 is a bit different, and how it definitely has its flaws, like kneeling down in front of that wall with the red crystal selected. Because meanwhile, the game tries to give you hints towards those sort of things, but it's just not that simple. But I mean, back in the NES days, there were a lot of places in games where there was hard to find secrets like that. So Castlevania 2 is definitely not the only game that was like that. Overall, it was a fairly strange game, and it's interesting how back in the NES days, it seemed like the number 2 of the series was always the really strange one, and it was like, the gameplay was always completely different than all of the other games in the series, like Super Mario Bros. 2, it was actually just a Doki Doki Panic, which was a game that was released in Japan. You had Zelda 2, which was a platformer instead of the top-down games like we normally know the old 2D Zeldas to be. And that was the first boss, everyone. I know I didn't talk too much about it. And when you defeat the boss, it gives you that red crystal, which fills your health, and pretty much just marks the end of the world. But yeah, it's funny how sequels on the NES were always very strange and rarely followed how the game before it went. As I said, I just named a whole bunch of examples, but I guess it's not all games were like that. I mean, Mega Man 2 stayed true to its predecessor and stuff like that. So interesting things like that. But yeah, as you saw back there, I had the tomahawk, or axe, which I was throwing in an arc, which is very useful for the first boss. This here, it's kind of like a boomerang, and the way it comes back to you, I don't exactly know what you call it. I mean, it looks like an X, I usually call it like the Ninja Star or something like that, I don't know. But anyway, as you saw, we kind of opened that alcove in the wall there, and by going into it, it caused that crown to come up out of the floor, which is worth 2,000 points. Points don't really mean anything in this game, they're just cool to have. Another one of those NES games where points don't actually do much. It is neat though when points do things, like in Atlantis No Nazo where collecting 100,000 gives you a life. I like it when things are like that. Anyway, this here, I collected this in the first area as well. What this does is it allows you to throw 2 of your special weapon at a time, where normally you would only be able to throw 1 if you didn't have that. There's also a 3, which would allow you to throw, well, guess how many? 4. No. Allows you to throw 3. I believe this is where we get the introduction to the Medusa heads, and these are quite a pain the way they just kind of wave across the screen, and they cause you to be cautious and kind of just slow down, and I really wish I hadn't have gotten that sword, because it's kind of lame compared to some of the other special weapons that are out there. Like the, what's it called, like the Ninja Star X Cross thing. Although, my favorite special weapon was probably the Tomahawk or Axe, because I like the way that it arcs. Okay, now this is where you really don't want to get... and let's be silly and jump into the hole there. I was going to say, this is where you don't want to be silly and get hit by the Medusa heads, because if you do, as you see, when you get hit, you fly back like 40 feet, and those will just push you down the holes, and it's not really great. But yeah, so unfortunately I kind of died there. I'm trying to keep my lives for as long as possible, but we'll see how long I can go before I get a game over. Yeah, I'll probably play until the first game over, or I'll play for about 20 minutes, because I actually kind of need to get going and do something today. But I don't think it should take me much longer than 20 minutes to get a game over. It's actually been quite a while since I've played Castlevania. So I mean, I'm not really surprised on how I'm doing so far, since once you get this part, it's kind of like riding a bike, and you don't usually have too much trouble with it later. Although there are some later stages and some bosses that can be kind of tricky if you haven't done them in a while. Overall, we're doing just fine. We still have 2 lives left. That's kind of what the P stands for up there. You have a player. So yeah, I could swear we had some food here. It's somewhere. Yeah, it's right there. So it doesn't give you full health, but it does refill some. Although I think every time we've got it so far, we've been missing just enough that it gave us full health. And that was dumb. It's not worth to get like 1 heart to make you do that. It's weird when you jump inside of blocks. You can't move to the left and right, because I guess your head kind of gets like lodged in it, and you can't move. And that was a bad jump. Let's see. Anyway, let's wait for it this time. There we go. I always thought the moving platforms looked kind of neat. I don't know, just the way that they're kind of like brightly outlined, unlike everything else, which has a really dark outline. I don't know, it's weird. We have more Medusa heads there. And we have the door to stage 6. And if I remember correctly, yeah, this is the one with those things that kind of crush you in one and kill you in 1 hit, I believe. Which you will see in just a second. Yeah, these. These are 1-hit kill. And yeah, it's not very nice, but if you time it right, you shouldn't have a problem. You can duck under that second one there, I believe. So you don't really need to worry about it too much. I believe you can duck under it anyway, yeah. Not that, I mean, you can just run it too, like you're going to have to do with this one. But overall, just demonstrating that you can duck under them if they're low enough. No, I thought it was 1-hit kill for that guy, so I kind of let my guard down. I have a bad habit of letting my guard down, whether it's an enemy or a boss or whatever it is. When I think that they're about to die, I'll usually like start looking away and start caring a lot less about it, because I think it's pretty much done. Like if I fire a shot and I think it's like the final blow, I'll usually like turn the other way and start attacking something else. But sometimes that will be like my ultimate downfall. If it in fact isn't the last hit, then it will like come at me and start destroying me. But yeah, just one of the bad habits I have in games. Like I was playing a game the other day, and I kept attacking these enemies. And I kept thinking that in my head, like, okay, 1 more hit and we'll be dead. And I for some reason kept turning away, and then they always attacked me after I did that, and it was kind of silly. Anyway, we have the second boss here. We'll see how well this goes. It's like the massive Medusa head, not just the small one. And shoots like snakes at you. Overall, oh yeah, we have the holy water. And this is a very good attack. Because it will actually just stop the enemy in their tracks. And it deals some pretty massive damage too. So here we go, get our whip back. I believe the second and third stages of the whip do the same amount of damage, although the second stage just upgrades its length. Anyway, let's see here. Gonna make it run for this one. Even if you touch the side of that, I'm pretty sure that you still die. So it makes it hard to time it correctly. As far as the newer Castlevania games, though, I mean, I've played the first 4, so like the 3 for NES and the 4th for Super Nintendo, although after that, I haven't really been too in touch with the Castlevania series. I mean, I know that it looks really neat, unlike the Sony ones, where it's like a more Metroid kind of style, and there's like items to collect and lots of places to explore. That looks kind of neat to me. Meanwhile, the first 4 really follow the more linear style that we're playing right now. Although the third one actually does have some splitting paths, and you can find like new party members and stuff like that, which you can switch to, like a guy that can climb on ceilings and stuff like that. The third Final Fantasy, the third Castlevania, is actually a lot better in the Japanese version. They actually made some things worse in what's it called? In the North American version, where like one guy who he normally he throws his weapon, which makes it long range, but for some reason in the North American version, I believe they made it so that it's only used as like a dagger and it has really short range, which is really lame. I think I'm remembering this right anyway. I know that the Japanese version of Castlevania 3 definitely is superior to the other versions, though. And there we go! Area 2 down. This will probably be the last area that we make it through, even if I somehow make it through this one without dying. Wait, 2p? 2 lives? Really? Do you get your lives back after each area, or did I just get extra lives somewhere? You might get, maybe you get extra lives based on points. I actually don't remember. And I have the volume down so that like the microphone doesn't pick up the sound. So if there was any indication of me getting an extra life, I definitely didn't hear it. I can hear the sound just a bit, although yeah, definitely not loud enough to like distinguish sound effects and stuff. And I'm kind of just getting destroyed. But anyway, yeah. So if I do beat this world, this will be the last world or area that we do. I usually like to call big areas in video games worlds, despite whether they're actually called that or not. It just comes from back in my Super Mario Brothers playing days when I got into that habit. Because I just like calling like bigger areas worlds, and then there'll usually be like smaller levels or stuff inside of the worlds, which is usually what I call that. That's usually how I use my terms. But anyway, we have the axe there, which is very good. 26 hearts. Should be enough to take down some enemies. And luckily we just passed through the door there, which will act as a checkpoint, which is good. Oh, I remember getting destroyed in this room many times because of the Medusa heads, and also some tricky platforming which I believe comes up in the near future. And this guy too, he's just a pain. Yeah, this game definitely isn't nice when it comes to giving you healing items. I'm just checking the walls to see if there is any, because I have 1 health left, and that's not really a great thing. Anyway, so yeah, let's see if we can make it through without dying. No, I didn't want the stopwatch, although maybe we'll kind of just abuse its power to make our way through here. Ah! And that is the phone! Actually, if you would give me 1 minute to answer that. Hello, and I am back. That phone call was related to, what I said I needed to do in about 20 minutes, but that 20 minutes was about, like, 15 minutes ago now, so I have about 5 minutes left. So, we're just gonna see, well, what we can do here. If I can continue using this power to just kind of blast my way through this room, I would not complain. So, yeah, there we go. So, win or lose, this will be the final room that we play today. I'm actually doing much better than I was expecting, considering I have 1 health. Although, I don't normally abuse the clock like this. I am perfectly okay with it, as it's actually being quite helpful. Unlike the other items, the clock uses 5 hearts instead of just 1, like most other items do. Anyway, let's see here. Let's try not to waste all of our hearts. We should probably... I was trying not to jump too far, because I didn't want to hit the skeleton, because he would have knocked me back, but then I end up jumping down the hole anyway. But anyway, short-lived clock abusing was pretty fun. I don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was just talking about abusing the clock before the phone rang. And let's just play like super crappy right here, just for fun. I don't have the clock to abuse anymore. Invincibility, yes! Run, Simon, run! You can do it! You can do it! Run! Run, yes! That was awesome, although I can't imagine we're going to make it too far. That was actually pretty funny, though. But anyway, yeah, last life, last room. Let's see how this goes. That was the boss, like, right there. Now, these guys aren't too hard to deal with, since you can just destroy the flames with the whip. Although it is better if you have the longer whip. Ah! But overall, the music in this game is pretty nice too, because, like I've said in a few videos, I love it. It's really important to me when video game music is good, because that just makes it so much more fun to play. I don't like it when games have dull or, like, boring music. It just makes the whole experience a lot less enjoyable, I find. But then again, that's just my preference. Anyway, we have food there. And what do we have in here? Okay, the stronger whip. Let's see, can we do it? Can we do it? Maybe? And that is how you beat the third boss, everyone! I can't believe I just did that. And there you go! First 3 worlds of Castlevania. Let's see, do I get all my lives back at the end of the world, or... Actually, no, I never got any lives back at all. That's because I originally had 3. And when I died, I went down to 2. And yeah, we're kind of falling down to the 4th world. But it's interesting, because games that you start with 3 lives don't usually give you a 0. As to sort of give you, like, 3 lives instead of 4. But anyway, that was my silliness back then, if you were yelling about that. But anyway, this is the 4th world, and this is actually my favorite level right here. So it's too bad that we won't get to play it. But, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you've never played Castlevania, definitely go and play it. One of the first 4, they're very awesome. I can't say anything about the newer ones, although I've heard they're great as well. So go try them out. They're a lot of fun. And yeah, just thank you very much for watching. Sorry I couldn't go any farther. I would have liked to at least given this a shot. But, you know, what the heck. I'm going to get going to be late, but it's worth it for video games. And that's what happens when you try to play games. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time.